Well, there's supposed to be another Alex Murdaugh trial happening very soon. The case of Gloria Satterfield and the money that Alex Murdaugh basically pilfered from that family and insurance claims after her death in the house of Alex Murdaugh, which by itself is a little bit suspicious. No criminal charges ever brought there. But will that trial happen? Or when will it happen, I guess, is more the question. And who's going to be presiding over it? Alex Murdaugh's attorneys making that motion to say that we really think the judge needs to step down, especially with the connections and the allegations of jury tampering, and also some of the comments that Judge Clifton Newman has made on television in media after the actual murder trial itself. Let's start there. Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI special agent, about Judge Clifton Newman. I thought he was a great judge. I think most people felt the same way. Very fair, very transparent from what we are aware of. But we are talking now, still more charges, the possibility of another murder trial for Alex Murdaugh if we do, in fact, find out that there was jury tampering going on, and the clerk of court being his clerk of court, Rebecca Hill. Is this something where maybe we should just say, look, Judge Clifton Newman, it's time to recuse yourself on this one just for the optics? Or appellate issues down the road.
Well, I concur with you. Judge Newman was fantastic. He's the type of judge that you want presiding over any case, really.
Mhm.
He seemed so fair, knowledgeable, really heard both sides before making any ruling. I was very fair on his rulings. He was just amazing. So, having said that,
Mhm.
he shouldn't be on this with Satterfield. He shouldn't be on it because of what is swirling around with the clerk of court, because of the previous trial that took place. I should say, if the previous trial took place, I still don't have a problem. The problem lies with the clerk of court issue.
Mhm. More so than comments that he's made since on the Today Show, even in the courtroom himself. We clearly know his thoughts on Alex Murdaugh. As most of ours probably agree that it's a very sad individual. He's a very sad individual, a very disturbed individual, and the guilt is very present there. But when you're a judge, you need to be impartial, and there are more cases he's assigned to preside over involving Alex Murdaugh. Is it solely the Rebecca Hill issue, or do you think some of those comments play a role as well in being impartial for any other charges?
I agree that so first, the Rebecca Hill thing to me is just the again a no-brainer decision here. You can't have him presiding due to that issue.
Mhm.
But just say there wasn't that issue and it was just comments made on the bench, which he made his feelings very clear
Yeah.
there. And then, as you said, in other forums in the media,
Mhm.
um, you have to be fair and impartial. Some people will argue that still it's fair and impartiality on the law, that would be presented to him in the court
Mhm.
and his decisions. Could he be able to rule on those questions that are asked despite his personal feelings toward um, Murdoch?
Yeah.
I lean toward that this judge could,
Mhm.
but why even have it out there for an appellate issue to transpire?
Yeah.
It's just there's no reason to roll the dice on that because at the end of the day, no matter what side you're on, you want justice to be served and you don't want an appellate issue to come up where it's overturned and now you're retrying everything all over again.
Mhm.
So I think he should just recuse himself. Let's just make it easy. And I'm hoping he does. I think it'll tell a lot about him if he just recuses
Sure,
himself.
sure. And there's a lot of arguments being made right now, especially from the prosecution side. Rebecca Hill saying, I did not say those things. That are not true. None of this actually happened. Most of the jurors have signed sworn affidavits with SLED saying, yeah, we didn't have any idea that any of this went on. We don't think that this took place. It certainly didn't affect our decision. But there are still a couple of jurors who have not done that. And I'm curious as to what their thoughts are going to be. If you have all of the jurors at the end of the day coming in here and saying, uh, no, this didn't happen. Yeah, I mean, does he get a new trial? Because I'm assuming Jim Griffin and our Poodlin, they have something. They said that they have sworn affidavits from some people saying that yes, this did in fact happen. Kind of a he said she said thing. How do you get to the bottom of that to determine uh, just how influential Becky Hill was or was not?
Well, from the get-go, when these allegations first came out, my stance was, listen, we have not seen both sides of the pancake at all.
Hmm.
We're seeing a very one-sided presentation from the defense counsel for Murdaugh, and we're seeing nothing yet from Becky Hill or from the prosecution side or from the other jurors. And this, I think, just they need to have a hearing. They need to put each juror under oath, and they need to be questioned by both sides. And the judge needs to obviously evaluate what he believes transpired and make a decision. Now, the question is, should it be this judge?
Yeah.
Because this judge is so close. I mean, your clerk of court, oh my God, they are so important and they're so tight with the judge where they work.
Hmm.
Um, it's kind of a cool. It's almost like a sister and brother or father and daughter relationship, and all of these clerk of courts and judge relationships that I've seen throughout the year. They are who you go through, whether you're an agent, whether you're an attorney. They handle everything for the court, and so I don't think Judge Newman, even though I think he is, of the utmost moral standing, I just think it's a bad optic.
Hmm.
And I think they should put another judge in charge of actually listening to the evidence that will come out from all the jurors after they're interviewed and then make a determination. And if that determination is this is a bunch of hooey that you didn't get your smoke break, and that you heard something sort of in passing and maybe ramped that up and made it more specific and more egregious than it really was.
Hmm.
This doesn't deserve a retrial if that's proven.
Yeah, and the other question would be, how much did this influence anybody? I mean, I guess anyone could say yes, I was influenced. But if at the end of the day, even those jurors who we've not heard from yet, if we do have that hearing, that's going to be a question. The question will be, how much did any comments you heard from Becky Hill affect your decision? Even if they all say no, but if it's somehow recognized that she did make those comments, what do you do with that? I mean, do you say, well, they said it didn't affect their judgment, but we all know, I mean, any piece of information that comes towards us, it's information that our mind's going to process that may or may not affect our decision making.
I think it's very problematic if those statements that we have heard were made.
Hmm.
I think it's just very problematic because, as you said, they can say all they want, it didn't influence them, but did it really?
Yeah.
And so as I've said, if truly those statements were made and those were overheard by jurors who deliberated and who returned this verdict that's costing a man life in prison, I think that they would have to retry it if
Yeah.
it's true what was said.
Hey, it's Tony Brueski. If you want more of our interview with our guests, be sure to check out our podcast, Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski. Just search that wherever you download podcasts and press subscribe. Also, you can check out our YouTube channel for the full video version of the interviews as well, under the same name, Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski. Check it out, subscribe, binge, and enjoy. Thanks for watching.